Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Another video blog today because why not? Yesterday I was angry at the fact that I don't get paid time off somehow because of its classification. Being a part-time employee versus full-time employee, and it's just, my opinion, is just bullshit. There, I said it, and if people get angry, so be it. I don't care. It's bullshit. It sucks not having paid time off. Today I'm just more worried about because my background when I went to school, I was one of those lucky ones. My dad had a relatively good job in Puerto Rico. He worked for a pharmaceutical. He started working in fermentation before they moved him to work in the area of hazardous waste disposal, and it's the reason why he recommended me to go into chemical engineering, which I did, and I finished my bachelor back in 1999. I got a degree in chemical engineering, and after I finished my degree in chemical engineering, I couldn't find a job in Puerto Rico. My GPA was not as high as should have been. It was still good. I graduated with honors. I graduated with 3.8 average, which was still enough to get me honors in graduation. And then after I finished, I decided to apply for a master's degree. And I stayed in Puerto Rico. I did a master's in civil engineering, but the focus was mostly on environmental engineering. Environmental engineering is it was very related to chemical engineering because when you have a chemical plant, you still have to worry about emissions, and you don't want to produce something that the waste that it's going to generate is going to be damaging to the environment. We have the case here in New York. The best example I can give is the case of the company here in Hoosick Falls that ended up dumping waste to the water system, and they have had to do studies here. So you don't want to do that kind of stuff. You want those environmental regulations being stricter, so you need to have somebody in the plant making sure that things are done properly. And I worked for a little bit for a while. I worked for Unilever, Best Foods, while I was trying to finish my master's degree in Puerto Rico. And I have worked for the EPA, and I worked for New York State Department for Environmental Conservation for a while before Governor Patterson decided to downsize the state workforce. And so I got in retail because I needed a job. I found myself without a job, and I couldn't find a job in engineering. Even though I had my license, I couldn't find a job. So I got into retail, just taking any job just to survive because I still need money, honestly. And I never worked in retail until back in 2013. I worked in college. I got lucky that like I said, my dad, I was one of the lucky ones. My dad paid for my education, so I didn't have to worry about paying for my education. But never worked retail before. And I'm saying now that I work retail, it's most of the time I'm going to admit it. Reconcile the fact that I'm highly smart. The job to me is boring. I'm on autopilot most of the time when I'm doing my job at work. My job right now is picking pretty much. It's the way that Walmart decided to compete with Amazon. It's like you can order your groceries online. I'm one of those people that go around picking up stuff and putting them in totes. Pays money, pays the bills at least. But honestly, it's not a difficult job. It's not rocket science. It's not rocket science. It's not engineering. So I did like I mentioned, I went to chemical engineering because my dad decided to put me in that direction. But originally, I wanted to go into computer engineering because computers were more interesting to me. And also back in the day, the TV series Knight Rider, I'm a big fan of that series. And I always found love to be able to get to a car like that. Now cars have computers, so the technology has got into that point. So I would have rather studied something different. I wish wish I would have done so. I feel like if I would have done so, I would have a job in that field. I'm kind of regretful of my decision to go into chemical engineering and not into what I wanted to be doing, or what I wanted to study, which was computer engineering. I did enjoy a little bit of chemical engineering, but I really didn't enjoy the whole. I wasn't happy with the prospects of the job. I certainly regret not going to computer engineering. I should have listened to my gut and go with what I wanted. Talk to like chemical engineering, and then I wasn't looking for computer engineering. And in the end, it was my life, not my dad's life. So yeah. And now I'm applying to jobs, and some jobs like for the past year, like they've been paying so little, like it's just been frustrating. So I've been moving because I'm an adult. I don't want to live with my parents as an adult, and just having the living expenses in New York State that are expensive. Jobs that are offering the minimum wage that we're getting in New York, which is $12.50 an hour. They're bullshit jobs, honestly. And right now I'm getting enough income for the type of job that I do, which is surprising because I wasn't expecting that. But the income that I'm getting is keeping me afloat. It's paying for my rent, it's helping me pay for my car. And like I mentioned before, here in New York, you need to have this area of New York, not in New York City necessarily because they have other ways of transportation. But here in upstate New York, in Albany, Detroit, fortunately you need to have a car if you want to have good mobility. If not, that's okay too, but you're going to be limited. And I went through a period of time where I didn't have a car, and it was highly limited place that I could go, And in all honesty, I'm glad that I have a job that is paying me enough to be able to survive. So when it comes to looking for another job, one of the first things that I look in that is how much they're paying, how much they're going to pay. And I don't think I'm willing to sacrifice my corporate pay for another job, regardless of what they offer. It could be merit base increases, whatever. I don't really care about that. I care that if I'm going to do my job, at least I should get my base pay should be equal or more than what I'm earning. Because I see no reason of leaving a job to go to another place that the chances of getting a raise may or may not happen. They still can come up with an excuse not to give the raise. So I am not willing to sacrifice that, especially because I have already been. I need to look what is best for me, and honestly, I'm not willing to sacrifice my finances. I live in situation now. You go to work in a place where I'm going to get paid less. No, thank you. Especially if that company in question is farther away, which means that I will have a higher gas expense every day to go to work and back, and I'm still going to be making less money regardless. So no, I'm not going to do that. And even if it's a manufacturing job, which again, I'm a highly smart person, physical labor, I'm okay doing them. I've been doing this job a while now, which is physical labor course. I work in a freaking warehouse. Things are labeled and allowed, you go in there, pick it up, put it out, hook. Manufacturing, if it's like just putting things on packaging things or whatever it is. If it's physical labor, I'm not afraid of doing it. I've done it. I've done manufacturing and it's working in a company that was doing vitamin premixes. I ended up doing the job there, and it doesn't scare me, honestly. But when the job, but I admit that it has become, I'm on autopilot. I'm like doing things, but my brain may be thinking about robots or something totally musical about store or making a song about fruits and vegetables, which had happened before, or something totally different that is not necessarily paying attention to what I'm doing because I'm on autopilot. Too much attention to what I'm doing. Which is weird to explain. Like, and a lot of people tell me, "Oh, but what are you saying?" It's like, let me be honest. It's kind of difficult to reconcile when I'm highly creative, which is why I come up with the idea of making a robot. You know, so I wanted to make a robot. I mean, normal people make robots, right? Yeah, they do. Making a robot puppet, specifically a robot puppet, because I like ventriloquism. Yeah, it's perfectly normal to want to make a robot. Yeah, it is. Freaking is. I'm okay making a robot. So yeah, it's kind of difficult to reconcile a job that I'm running on autopilot and being creative and also being wanted to go further, you know. People tell me, well, apply to a job and move up in the company. And honestly, I don't know if I want to move up in the company. What for? What's in there? You know, I don't know if I want to be in retail at all, you know. My God is telling me that I'd rather do something different. And it doesn't involve retail. I'm working in a store. It doesn't involve a job where I know that I'm probably going to be bored. Thinking about robots. I think I want something different. But what? That is the question that I'm facing. What do I want? And I want to go back to engineering because I feel it will bring more money. But does that mean that it will bring happiness? And if I go into engineering, where? Which company, you know? I was looking today and I was like, looking at the news, and one of the news that they show today that really impacted me was one that they have in Kenya, which is in Africa. They're having a waste problem, and it was like they were showing plastic pollution. You know, and we humans, we go to the supermarket, we purchase things, plastic water bottles, yada yada. You know, plastic is a big issue when it comes to like waste. And fortunately, here in the United States, we have programs that prevent plastic waste from getting to the waterways. We will probably find a way. Some of it will find a way to those places, but like most of the time, we have good regulations that prevent the situations that happen in Kenya. They were showing the news that plastic waste and solid waste covering a waterway, a stream. It's ridiculous. It's insane that is happening in the world. And there was this lady that they were interviewing because she decided to start using plastic into bricks, adding plastic to bricks, and it created. I'm so interested because it's like using that waste make something that would be used in construction. That's a great idea, I think. It doesn't solve the problem that the waste is still generated. I feel like want to stop waste, the best way to go is like not generating the waste in the first place. But unfortunately, until the mentality of people change, we'll still continue to have to deal with plastic waste. I don't see that going away anytime soon, unfortunately. I do wish that there was better ways of dealing with that material. And I wish I have more knowledge of that. Even though chemical engineering, I know how plastic are formed, which is a polymer reaction where you design I'm driving, so I'm kind of like my brain's trying to tap into that. me a while. But it's a chain reaction, so that way you take a monomer and convert it into a long chain of the big long polymer. And depending on the plastic, there are things that you can do with it, but like taking a waste and converting it into a useful product, that is the way to go. But at the same time, it doesn't solve the problem of waste generation. And overall, that's the problem with recycling. It's like we generate so much waste that if you don't have the markets to take that product, it's pointless. It's totally pointless. And it's sad to say it, and it's sad to watch this documentary, because it's the way that we're living. It's a modern world, but like, humans don't care about the environment at all. And it's sad because there's only one Earth. We don't have any other planet out there. And even if the billionaires are able to find a way to send it to space, then what? What are we going to do today? Waste that we generate in space, toss it out to float in space? Reminds me of that episode of Futurama about the big ball of garbage going through space. It is an episode of Futurama, so if anybody finds it, please do so. But yeah, it's one of those things that I like to get involved in, mostly because of my education, my master's in environmental engineering. It's the reason why I studied environmental engineering. It was like, yeah, it's okay to produce, but also at the same time, like, knowing that we're generating waste when we produce certain things, and even then afterwards, when we produce something, what happened to that? It's not like we can just toss it away. Toss it away generates other problems. Air contamination. You're taking resources that people need, and by not disposing of it appropriately, you are generating problems for communities. And that's one of the things that it's not. It doesn't have an easy answer, and I like that kind of problem and trying to figure out what it can be done. And I was excited about seeing that person, because she figured a way of taking a problem that they're having and trying to use that to produce that problem that they're having. But does it solve the whole problem? No, it doesn't, because we are still generating waste. And that's the key in there. How can we do something more to generate less waste? How can we educate people to generate less waste? And that's the thing that I have always asked myself, It's one of those ultimate questions that don't have an easy answer, Again, it's all becomes a problem of like having the infrastructure and the companies that will utilize the waste into their products, And there's also a lot of opposition from government from industry But ultimately we'll have to deal with that. If we continue the way that we're living with humans, we're not going to have a good future, in my opinion. Anyway, but I think I have sidetracked. But those are things that I like. I like the work that is coming up with ideas to solve problems, and that's why I went into engineering. Engineering is about solving problems that people have. It's not necessarily about pushing sales. It's not necessarily about pushing services that may not be needed. To me, the beauty is about solving problems that people have. That's why I like engineering. That's why I went to engineering. And it's difficult to reconcile working in retail versus the job in engineering. What kind of job can I find out there to go and move into that? Teaching. I will have to have a certificate in teaching. I thought about going into teaching in all honesty, and I wish I could have found a way to do that. But I don't know. I don't have the money to go back in school. I don't even think I have the money to stay in school, unfortunately. That's why I think I have to drop down of school, the program fundamental management. Even though I like it and I enjoy it, then I have to drop out probably. But I have considered about going to teaching. I'm highly educated. I could become a good teacher. I would have loved to go into teaching, and honestly, that was a plan originally. That's why I ended up moving up here to Europe. I ended up moving up here to New York because I wanted to go into teaching. That's why I went to RPI to try to do a PhD, because I wanted to do research and work as a professor in a college or university doing research too. That never materialized, and that's why I ended up sidetracking to getting a job as a state, and now getting a job just to survive because I got bills to pay. And it's still the question there, but it depressed me. I think it's just the fact of not being able to pursue what I wanted to do with my career, or not finding a way to be able to do so. It's making me very depressed. It's making me depressed. Suddenly, there are days that I don't even want to wake up to come to work, but I need the money, so I'm gonna be at work. But I wish I could do something different. I just don't know how. That's the sad part about it. I just don't know how. I don't have the money to do so. I have to focus on my job here. Yeah, the other stuff that I wish I could be doing cannot happen because I don't have the resources. So I just cannot figure a way how to do it. That's all. And it sucks. It's a movie with another company. It's a movie taking a different job. I think if I move to a different job, it will be the same situation too. It's just not what I want, and it's a disconnection of like what I'd rather be doing versus what the job wants me to do, and that disconnection is not making me feel happy. And I wish there was a way to reconcile that, of being a job where I feel happy about waking up and excited about going to do it every day, rather than just doing it because I need the money to survive, you know. That disconnection in a job sucks. It really does. And I know it's been 20 minutes, and thank you for watching if you have been for 20 minutes, but like, yeah, that disconnection of like between just doing a job for money and being passionate about other things that you really want to do. It's the part that kind of sucks, honestly. You know? And I get it, there's people that are happy just getting the paycheck, you know. I get it. I am not that kind of person. I am not that kind of person. You can give me a paycheck, okay, it's fun, great, bravo, I got money. But if there's that disconnection between what I'm doing, it doesn't work for me. And I don't know if it's because of the course of having a master's degree didn't come easy, you know. Completing a master's degree, anybody that completes a master's degree, it's not easy. Not many people complete a master's degree. Hell, not many people go to school and complete a bachelor's degree. So I feel like it's a course being too smart sometimes. I feel like it's a course being smart, honestly. Being intelligent. Because I don't think you're satisfied with simple things sometimes, you know. So probably I got my paycheck, cool, I can go home and just binge watch something, you know. But to me, it's more of a disconnection between what I'm doing and what I would rather do. And I don't know how can I change that, you know. I know I'm passionate about the environment because I just talked about a situation that has been happening about the environment, and I'm passionate about that. But how can I find a way to reconcile my interest in things I like versus a job? I don't know. Maybe that's why I need my creative outlets. And maybe that's why I have my creative outlets, like creating robots, making art, and even wrestling, which is a creative outlet too. Whether people see it that way or not, but I see it as a creative outlet. Because this stress that I have internally, the only way that I can take it out is by doing something creative. Just laugh about the things that you see happening each day. Like having customers asking me questions, so like, excuse me, can you tell me where I can find this? Excuse me, can you tell me where I can find that? Hello. Excuse me, can you tell me how can I find, do you have these particular items? I don't know, I'm not a bad memory of knowing where every possible product is. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. Somehow I need to figure something out because I want to continue dealing with this internal depression that I'm having every day where I feel like crap about my life. And I don't want that. I don't want to feel unhappy. I want to feel happy about the things that I do, you know? I don't want to be looking so unhappy, so unfulfilled with what I'm doing. I don't want that. I want something that makes me feel fulfilled with my life, not just some paycheck. So, anyway, that's how I go. Peace, everybody. Take care.